Hi, welcome to Martin Mods Universe, and today I'm going to talk about 3 mods that I made for the first Elder Scrolls game, the Arena, over the course of 10 years. One of them is 10 years old today. Elder Scrolls Arena, the best techniques are passed on by the survivors. Gaiden Shinji, Blademaster, First Era 947. Alright, so there are 3 mods made for this game. The first one we're going to get is when we start this new game, we're going to see some intro slides. Those slides, I fixed 3 of them, which had one big mistake, a comma missing, and then a final mistake. So that's called the Elder Scrolls Intro Fix. TES Intro Fix is what I call it. TES Intro Fix. It's on Nexus Mods. This first mod, you'll see that it says Uriel Septim the 7th. That is correct. It used to say the 4th. It was a mistake. They had it swapped. There's one in here that had a comma. I think it's coming up. Yeah, I think it was just one of these spots where right here. I think it was here. Didn't have a comma. I couldn't live with that. So there's the very last slide, the one right next after this. It said Emperor's Guard, not spelled correct, and it made more sense as Imperial Guard, so I fixed it to match the very first slide. The next is TES Re-Refonted. It was TES Refonted, and then I just made a new version of it. So now it's Re-Refonted. And you can see here, the text is very readable compared to how it was in the past. In the past, the very low resolution, they used extremely low fonts. So I kind of went in and used a program that let me pixel by pixel change the font. It's very limited, and there's a lot of things you can't do. That's why I had to go in and tweak it multiple times to get it where I wanted to be. I'm going to hit generate here to make a character just so you can see what the next font looks like, because there's like 4 fonts I think I changed. It's not this one. This is the same font, but you can kind of see more of it, how it looks. This is another font. And this is where it asks you the questions and you make decisions based on the questions. And if you're using my last mod that I'm going to talk about, you'll have to hold the control key to type the letter A, but I think B and C work just fine. All right, it says we're a spell sword. That doesn't matter. We'll press on. Then you enter your name. Here's one thing I don't know what I did, and I have to look into it, why it's doing this. But the name comes out a little weird. You can type it, it just shows on the side for some reason. I don't know that it does that anywhere else. Martin saves the universe. Oh. I will be a dude. And from where, yeah. So this, there's going to be a couple instances where you see the font isn't changed. That's because it's not actually a font. This is an image map. So you have to edit the image, which is possible on some of them, but I don't know if it is on this one. And it's not easy. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, to tell you the honest truth. We will hail from Morrowind. Yeah, Dark Elves. Why not? Morrowind's my favorite Elder Scrolls game. Finish just telling some nonsense here. Yeah, no ye, blah, 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 garbage. Okay, now we're on the point menu. All of the white text is font that I changed. The orange text is baked into the texture. That's why it still looks kind of like the old font. Well, let's do this real quick. Oh. Ready to go. We save those stats. Some garbage about picking a face. There you go. That's your face. Got it. Done. So it even shows in this part here.
There are no others left to carry on this fight.
Yeah, she wants us to save the land. Got it. All right, now we are in game. You can see here the font even changes on here, which makes this way easier to read, by the way. Recommend you hit minus to get the game to the speed you want. Minus and plus let you slow it down without affecting the... I find that if I set the cycles to 50,000 and then I hit minus twice when I start playing the game, that works the best for me. I also try to tweak the volume just a smidge because it's making it loud. And I put that detail all the way up. Let's save a game. Obviously, it's not going to be test empty anymore. Let's delete all those. MSTU. I'm going to show you something in a second why I had those other two lines, but first I wanted to just show you the rest of the TES Re-Refonted. So now we can see the next page. So even this font is changed. I don't have a, oh, I do have a spell book. All right. Whoop. Light heal. So all the font here is changed. You can tell. This is baked in. So I have to edit that separately. And honestly, I don't mind that so much. So it doesn't bother me. Makes it easier to tell. This is where you can see all your spells and make spells. All right, exit. And exit. Done. We also have this here. So it makes this cleaner to read. And we have, nope, let's not do that. I also recommend you hit F4, turn off that pixelization. That's hideous. So now it just pops up and disappears. And then we have this screen here, which is, I think, cleaner to read. There's only so much you can do. It's literally, these fonts are like 8 pixels by 2 by 3 pixels by 4 pixels, depending on the size. So I just tried to clean up, make it easier to read. This is all baked in, except for these two, of course. Well, I'll talk about the Phantom 4th mod after I'm done with the next mod. The next mod is, let's continue, is TES, the Elder Scrolls TES Remapped. Re-Remapped now. It's now on 4.0. I just released a new version in September of 2025. And what TES Re-Remapped is, okay, let me talk about the control screen so you can understand. This game came out when the standards for how to control a game were just the wild, wild fucking west. Just out of control. And nobody knew. 3D games were new. This is an era like 3 years after Doom. Like the 3D games were not common, so they didn't know what keys to use. So this one, instead of using the WASD, if you have a keyboard, it used the arrow keys. And you could turn. If you wanted to strafe, you had to hold down the control key, I believe, and then press with the arrow key in whatever direction. Not very intuitive. So what I did is I used DOSBox's internal key mapping system. We'll just click one so you can see. And I rebinded the keys so that it will operate as close to a modern version of Elder Scrolls as possible. So what does that mean? That means that W, A, S, and D. W moves you forward, S moves you backward, A turns you right, D turns you, what? Vice versa. A turns you left, D turns you right, Q strafes sideways, E strafes the other direction sideways. I have an alternate version available in all the layouts that swaps those. So if you want A and D to be your strafe keys, you could just use the alter version and it'll use Q and E for turning. I think people preferred this one, so I made it the primary. So that lets us move around using our normal keyboard input that we're used to. Of course, the game also has this stupid thing where you can use the mouse to drag you around and try to do it. It's super unwieldy and not awesome. Over here, let's grab that key. Come here, key. You don't belong in this world. Okay, got the key. So that's not all I did. Okay. Also, now I made it so that if you hit the tab key, brings up your character screen. If you hit the key above your tab key next to the 1, brings up your map. Or you can hit M for map. There we go. I made it so the log book, the journal where you see your quest, is J for journal. It wasn't before. Before, the jump used to be this. When you hit the jump key, all it did was jump up in place. Almost useless. I don't know any instance where you would have needed that. I mapped that to V for vertical jump, meaning jumping straight up and down, just in case somebody wanted it. And then I added a special combination of keys from the guide that said that you could do long jumps. So you can jump straight, jump across. And I'll show you where that's useful here in a hot second. So by pressing the space bar, you do a long jump, and you can do it moving or standing still. It's extremely handy and actually much more practical to have the long jump. Of all the things, I think it's definitely most practical. Then you have C for casting, which is normal. That is the normal casting key. See, I don't think I have enough mana to do that. So I just cast heal. So let's camp for a while. Oh, that's 3 hours. Oh, there are enemies nearby. Oh, geez. Oh, no, I don't have a weapon out. Oh, my God, this guy's out here? What kind of nonsense is this? This is uncool. I never equipped his weapon. So I just did it. Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but I pressed the recast key. You can cast whatever spell you had before automatically just by hitting the recast key. In the game unmodified, that used to be hold down shift and press C. So the cast key is C, recast is shift C. Well, I also bound it to the number 2, which is right above your forward movement. So if you're fighting somebody and you just need to hit a 2, recast the spell real quick. I can't do it because I'm out of spell points, but you just hit the 2 key and boom, you're casting spells. And it was the most convenient to like combat, which is probably where you use it most often. We have the standard key, the rest key is still there. The T key still does the status update. Oh, continue. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. The O key opens up the world map. I can't show you here, but I will show you it when the time comes. I think it kind of covers it. That covers, oh, Z. Z is your steal key. Pilfer is what they call it in the book, but it's the key to activate stealing. Let's continue. Let's do that. The G key is the use key. I do not have any items that I can use right now, but when you hit the G key, it uses them. F draws your weapon and she's your weapon depending on what you're doing. So functionally, you can play the game like a modern game to a degree, right? The mouse doesn't control your viewpoint at all. Well, it does if you drag left and right, but that's not what we want to do, right? And this game has a strange combat system already, so we don't want to do that. Let's get his weapon, and I'm going to show you another thing here in a hot second. Oh, there, look at my guy. All right, let's get our weapon out. There we go, look at that. For anybody who hasn't played this before and is curious, because I actually had comments that people didn't know how to do the attacks. You hold the right mouse button. You can drag left or right, up or down, diagonal. I think there's like 3 attack moves. They do different amount of damage and they have different ability to hit. So some hit better and some don't. I actually put it on the mod on TES Re-Remapped's mod page is a keyboard layout. On that keyboard layout is what the percentage and point differences and stuff. I took it straight from the manual. So, okay, open the door with the Ruby key. I've got to turn the pixelization off again. Sneak out here. Let's look at that. See if it's in there. Boom. Got it. I'm going to show you something else after I get this stuff equipped. Dagger. Oh, put the dagger on. Oh, that might be a magic item I can use. So let's see. I just activated it. So G. Yep, sure is. So when you use the use key, which is set to G, I can fire a spell at a target. Oh, okay. So it's something that shoots magic. Got it. Continue. Let's get out of that. Okay. These keys, by the way, mimic these icons. So there's F is the same as this, right? That's the map. Get out there. That's steal. The status. That's T. That's Z. That's cast spells. This is the logbook, the journal. This is the use key. I guess that's the simple for use. I don't know how that works. And then the rest key. Right click on there. Photo is the same as tab, and you can change your name, I think. I don't know how to do it. I don't really care at this point. I just like how clean that looks. So you might be saying, okay, if you change those keys, does that affect how you type in a game? It does. It does affect how you type, because we're cheating and intercepting the keys with different keys using this thing, right? It intercepts the keys. It changes A from that to, actually, you have to look at this. This changes when you changes the action the normal game considers to be this is now mapped to A. So A will behave like key left. That's how it works. I also have it set to something else. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. Oh, great. I just bound it to escape. That would be all kinds of stuff. Let's go back to that. One last thing I can think of off the top of my head to tell you about is saving your game. You might be wondering, like, what the hell? Why did you put the alphabet there, Martin? I was testing to make sure every key worked when I reverted it back. So let's pick a game. Let's delete this out. So if I just type normal now, this is, let's just do this. This is me typing normally. That's what it looks like. Because it's intercepting the keys to do other things. So we can have that fancy thing. To fix that, I have mapped a master control key, the left control key. If you hold it down while you type, and you can hold shift if you want capitals, so control shift and whatever. If you hold it down while you type, you can type whatever you want. So this is me typing. Boom. All back to normal. As long as I hold control, the left control down, I can type normal. There's very few instances where you type in this game. You name spells, you save your games, I think you name your character, and I don't know what else. I don't think there's much else. So that's how I was able to salvage being able to type normally and allow this new key scheme to work. So that's 3 mods. The TES Intro Fix, which is obviously my most minor mod, but for lore people and people who, like, that will bug some people. It's meant for them. It bugged me, but especially that very first one where it's Uriel Septim the Fourth, or whatever his name is. That'll bug me. So that's who the TES Intro Fix is for. It's really just 3 files that go right in the main directory. Then TES Re-Refonted, I really had a hard problem with reading it in a way that was comfortable so I could enjoy the game. I felt like it was a labor to read things. Uh-oh. Get out of here. Get. You can also hit F3. This changes what happens when they hit you. So you got this thing where the screen rolls a little bit. You got this where it rolls really hard, and it does this weird cross-hatch thing. We'll leave that on. Maybe I'll see how things hit me. So we've got the font thing. So I just needed it to be readable, right? I was having a hard time enjoying the game because it wasn't readable. At this low resolution. If Open TES Arena ever gets fully completed, then that'll change the game entirely for this, of course. And then the other mod I made was TES Re-Remapped. They're all 3 are on the Nexus mods. The TES Re-Remap has 4 versions. It has a version for Steam with instructions, a version for GOG with instructions, a version for the unofficial Other Scrolls page, Wee Land pre-packaged version of DOS with the free version of Arena. It's got a version of that, and it's got a version for DOSBox staging, which is what I'm using right now, which is a more modern DOSBox, but it's not very user-friendly. So if you're not tech savvy, it might not be your most favorite thing to use. But I made a version for each of them because these are the ones that people in comments kept asking about. Things weren't working, and then go back and look and made another version. Things weren't working for another version, went back another. The only one I don't cover is Macintosh, because I don't or Apple. I should have said Apple, and I said Macintosh. Holy shit! Oh, let's just say I remember this game coming out, and I was an adult. But somebody put like a tip in the forums on the page on how to get it working on an Apple computer. So I don't have one. I've never used one. I'm not really a Mac person. I did want to show you this. This is what I love about the long jump. Right over. Oh, I shouldn't have killed him. I wanted to see what the roll did. Okay, here we go. But that's the long jump. It lets you jump these pits. You can jump one that's two, I think, wide. This is a one wide one. So the whole game is really just a grid. You could like do a grid box mapping of the whole thing. Quite literally. I think there's which key is it? Oh, there we go. Look at this. You can see what coordinate on the map you are on. So, all right, let's see where that dude is. Maybe it'll hit me and I can see how the roll works. Red eyes seem to glitter at you from the darkness. Yeah, they sure do. Glitter away, little red eyeballs. So that was it. I want to play this whole game for the channel, but I'm going to save that for the secret 4th mod. Oh, hey, let's see him hit me. See what happens crosshatch means. Oh, see, it turned the screen red. So crosshatch is just a red shader. Well, it's not really a shader. Those things didn't exist in this time, but so the hidden 4th mod. I have for over a decade for sure, I think more than a decade, been editing the textures for this game. I had them done, but the final result was very unpleasing. It's a very limited, crude retexture because I can't change the size. So everything's 64 by 64 pixels, and only the walls. I didn't do the objects in game. I don't know if I'll do those or not. I think that might be a 2.0 if I do, because I was just trying to minimize some of the mushiness. I've kind of grown to like the game a bit like this, but I have that going, and I really, I have to spend a lot of time figuring it out and working it. So that mod has been phantom in the work for a while, and I still intend to release it. So that will, when I get that done, I will be doing a full playthrough might be a bit bold given how long these games take to play, but I will be doing a more robust video that covers the full length of what those textures have to offer. I think at least enough to give somebody an idea. And I haven't actually played this game very far into it in a long time. I don't think I ever beat it, to tell you the honest truth. That's mostly because I had friends who were using my computer and they always wanted to play it, so I let them play it. But that it is. Those are 3 mods I made for Arena, with the 4th one creeping over the horizon very slowly. That one's called the Arena Depixelization Project. I have a website, artandpinkerton.com. You can go and see a few pictures of it. But that project is not ready for prime time yet. I'm not happy with the results for the most part. I had made some progress last year, but there's still more to be done. Trying to bring there were some of the tile sets that just looked ugly. And you got to understand that this game is crude. Like, it just throws this junk together in random combinations. So that made some levels look pretty ugly with my new textures. And I really just wanted to kind of make it look nicer. So I see if I can bounce it out a little bit more before I go prime time with it. So that was 3 mods. Thanks for hanging out, and check out my mods. Download them if you like them. Give a like to this video if you're happy with what I did. If you have suggestions or comments, please. I understand that not everything's for everybody. Some people are extreme purists and they prefer to experience the game exactly how it was back in the day. I respect that. That's perfectly awesome. But I wanted to make Arena more approachable to a modern audience, as approachable as we can make it without a SourceForge engine. That changes everything. So that was my goal, just to make it a little bit more friendly. So I hope if you liked it, you enjoy the game. That's all. Thanks. Until next time. Y'all have a good one. This is the least amount of jokes I think I've made in a video in a long time.